All right, you're joined here today with Mike Schafer, JR 177 net coach, Cornell and Ice Hockey, senior goaltender Ian Shane, senior forward Andre Zietzna, and junior forward Nick Santos. You will first start with the opening statement from Coach Schafer.
Yeah, I mean, it's said to our team in the locker room. Started 30 years ago, 31 years old. Won my first two, and won my last two. All this shit in between. And probably can't print that, but this year I said only coaches really know what this year has been like as a net coach. And these guys have fought through so much adversity. Like when you get guys hurt, we had a lot of guys hurt. Guys struggle a little bit. As a team, we struggle a little bit, and so I think it really is a coach and as a team. There's an old saying that we used to use around our program: "Only we know." And as a player and as a coach, only you know the stuff that you go through in a whole season, the commitment. And these guys here are stuck together as a group of brothers the whole season. When everybody turned on us, they never turned on themselves. They got stronger. And we talked about how we read this book in the preseason. When adversity happens, it makes you stronger, it makes you more resilient. And I think that's for us tonight, this weekend. We were really fortunate last night to come back. I mean, that was a miracle. Tom Miracle on ice here, that was a miracle to come back against Cornell. And tonight came out strong, and these guys played against a really good hockey team. I mean, Clarkson, I tip my hat to those guys. Casey, really difficult for him. He's put his heart and soul into Clarkson University for 13 years. And it's really difficult, obviously, for him to leave and come to Cornell because he is a coach who put everything in it. And they have a great team. And they're here not only because of their coaching staff, but they're also here because of Casey and the other coaches that came before them. And so congrats to Clarkson, a tremendous program. They're always a blue blood in our league. JF will do a tremendous job because they represent. I think our league is going to get stronger because Clarkson University is always going to be a strong hockey team. So very fortunate as a head coach to win a championship, and very grateful to these guys, especially for Shane to make that save at the end of the second period. I'm really grateful that he was able to get across and make that save to keep it 2-1 coming out of the second.
We'll open it up for questions for the student athletes.
Ian, you gotta kind of happen down the stretch. I mean, your head is shredded.
Yeah, I mean, coming into a game like that, Clarkson's a really good team. Sorry, I have a bit of a sinus infection, but Clarkson's a really good team. We knew they were going to come out strong, and I trusted that my guys were going to do their job in the offensive zone, and just kind of lets me have a little confidence and kind of calm down a little bit on my end. And I know that if I slow things down, then it's going to give my guys a chance to breathe and hopefully take the puck back the other way. So.
Yeah, guys. So how important was this to kind of quiet the crowd early in the game? Because I thought you guys played a great road period, even though it was neutral site.
It was definitely an advantage that we scored it early in the game, but we also had to be really aware because we knew the whole game was ahead of us. So it was definitely a little advantage, but we knew we just had to keep playing hard, keep playing physical, and especially in the second period, Clarkson was really tough to play against. They got it going, so they also scored a goal. So after the second period, we just went in the locker room and we talked about it. That then we needed to come back strong and just play our hockey. And we knew it's 20 minutes for a championship. We made it. So it was definitely a little advantage, but we knew the whole game was really hard to play. So. Yeah.
For God on your end, to be able to finish your career with that type of leg, what's that stuff?
It's unbelievable. I was talking to Jack O'Leary about it the other night, Thursday night, about last year's about winning a championship, and then for the 10 of us, the 10 seniors, this year was kind of about trying to leave a legacy and leave the jersey in a better place, and we found it. And coming in our freshman year, losing to Colgate was obviously heartbreaking, but you didn't really know what you lost at that time because you hadn't made it this far. And then coming in, losing to Harvard, you kind of get a little bit of a taste of it. And then obviously last year winning the championship was it was huge. It was unbelievable. It was a great feeling, and we wanted that again so badly. And with everything we went through this year, we obviously wanted to put Cornell back on the map. And that second half of the regular season left sort of a sour taste in our mouth, and we knew we wanted to get back to the tournament, and this was obviously the way we had to do it. So,
yeah, I would probably say the same exactly at the end, but for me, it's also something unbelievable and amazing because throughout the whole time at Cornell, you're making memories for life, and to be able to finish the last 2 years like that is just, it's going to just make it even stronger, and it's going to last forever, and never going to forget about these moments. And I just hope we will keep going because we're still in the season, and I think this team has really big potential. So just can't wait for another week and for our games.
I got a great question for Nick. Nick DeSauce was out, plays great tonight. How was it like last night for a little talk with each other? You bounced back like you've done your whole career. They come out and score a huge goal. I think that reflects our season. I think it's a heck of a question for Nick.
Thanks, David. No, it's huge. I definitely could have played Locklear yesterday, but the trust in the guys, they stepped up huge. Just carried over, and I had to be better for the team and just come out like that and start. And was momentous build off of that, and great to my line mates, Olivia and Dre, and been great all year and supportive. They just laid into me like, hey, we need to be together and keep going, and things will happen, and it did. So what happens? Yeah, got for.
What about these big games that kind of brings the best out of you? I mean, tonight you said Commonwealth forwards. Well, over the years, it's just kind of been an MO. What about these big games brings you up?
I would say the big stages kind of bring our whole team out. I think everyone gets fired up to play. We obviously travel really well. The line of faith will bring the noise every single night, whether you're on the road or whether we're at home. I mean, you look at games like MSG that just prepare us for later down the road when we're hoping to be in a situation like this or in the Frozen Four. And I think we do a really good job as a group stepping up.
Yeah, something negative is right. Well, what does it mean to win this title, Coach Schafer's last season? And adding out of that, what is this? What has he meant to you guys in your career?
Congrats off.
So, coming here to the United States, like I played 6 months in Waterloo, but I feel like coming here to Cornell was truly the first U.S. experience, and I just can't thank Coach Schafer enough for making these 4 years for 4 years like amazing, and that I will remember forever. And I can't thank him enough for not just making me much better hockey player than I came here, but especially a much better person, because he cares. He cares about us as a players, and he cares about us as a people, which not every coach is like that. And I'm just gonna remember him for the rest of my life because the advice he gave me and the adversity we all of us got through with him and the great moments we experienced. That's just something that made me stronger and much better person. And I just can't thank you enough, Shay, because it's been amazing ride, and like I'm saying, it's not over yet, so we're gonna keep going.
Coach, you're the greatest group down. You guys come into the session at a 6 seed and play in the first round, go on the road in the second round, and then you come here, you're all back on the top like the way last year did. With this being kind of going out by a year, make it back to the NCAA tournament, one more divisions for you with and two for the guys that exceeded. It seemed like you guys had confidence in coming to this tournament, even though as mentioned for a lot of adversity. At what point did you guys know that this was maybe attainable and was being in result?
This for them.
Sure.
I was done last year. I was ready to retire. I thought it was awesome. We won a championship. Went for a hike in Utah with the family, and Ben Sire was going to be a great coach at Princeton. He's going to be a guy that's going to elevate their program, and that's pretty much done. For a lot of different reasons, but when Ben left, I give you a lot of credit to our athletic department, our university. We kind of looked around and brought Casey in. I just knew that I couldn't leave at that particular time, that I had another year left in me. I'm really grateful for our staff. They've helped me out a tremendous amount this year, taking care of me, physically, mentally. I've been on the ice once in 3 weeks. Got drilled at Union in the head, and they just kind of our team, right? Like these guys didn't flinch once. The coach, Casey and Sean and Corey ran the program for the last 3 weeks. I did some work around the video of that, but so what's it mean? I just had a lot of gratitude. Like that's all I've been thinking about. I'm just really grateful for the sport of hockey, what it's given to myself, my family. Everybody always asks the question, what's the thing you're going to miss the most? You know, being in the locker room, sitting there talking to guys, watching them overcome, like all three of these guys, overcome their individual adversity over the last year and a half. It doesn't get any better than that as a coach. I mean, you're lucky at the end of the year to win, but you're very fortunate. I'm very grateful to have my experiences with our players as we try to win. And that's what I'll miss the most. And so I'm very grateful for this season. And it's not over.
Yeah, because kind of adding on to that, what has this season been like coaching with Casey Jones, who's obviously was as hard as us?
It's very stressful. Oh, I know. Casey's a unbelievable coach. I mean, as I said, look at Clarkson hockey. I mean, you talk to so many people. I talked to a lot of the players. How much he admires a lot of those guys like Trey Taylor, and you went through there, Ryan Richards. And I told him after the game how Casey talks about how great leaders they are, great players, Joe. And that's a credit to him. But it's been awesome. I was very fortunate with Ben Sire and Sean Flannery. Like Ben was the head coach at the end of waiting. To have someone like qualified that can step in and just hit on all cylinders, just like Ben did for me when I had some health issues a couple of years ago. So I'm very grateful that to work with Casey. He's going to be tremendous. He's going to carry on the tradition in Cornell. These guys are very fortunate to have him as a coach.
On that, I speak, I heard you Paul Casey over and say something like, we didn't get to do this last time in like 2019. Should I kind of talk about that for this game?
Yeah, I don't know what I said to him. But yeah, he beat me last time in here in overtime. So it's nice to celebrate with each other rather than, I admired them last time when they won. It was great for Clarkson University. But yeah, it was especially my first year coaching. He was a freshman. He was a young French kid from Temiskaming, Quebec, and just to see him turn into be, I think, one of the best coaches of college hockey. So it was just nice to share with him, his family, so it was good. I don't know what I said, Bill. You have any more questions, these guys, or so they can roll?
I have one. I'll kind of on that. How was the kind of the dynamic between coach and Casey this year? How was that kind of helped you guys?
Oh, I know it's been a good organization. We know Schafer is our head coach, but Jonesy kind of gives that kind of extra coaching and help along the way. And even with the addition of Corey too and Flanny, they all collectively work together to kind of help us get to our main goal, which is this and the national championship. So even like when Schafer isn't here or wasn't at the rink after his outing, Jonesy stepped up and Corey stepped up and Flanny stepped up, and they did a great job teaching us and getting prepared for the bonus.
Perfect. Thank you for the student athletes. You guys are all set to go?
Thank you.
Good evening. And we'll have the floor for more questions to Coach Chase.
I have a similar question to you. What's so good in being with games like this and these tournament games? Like, obviously last year, this year, and about much looks good to make us, I thought.
Yeah, I mean, I think with Ian was very representative of our team this year. Like, he was one of the top 5 in save percentage last year, one of the top goalies in the country. And just like our team, there's 2 different classes you got to be really leery of, sophomores and seniors. Seniors want to go out with a bang, and sophomores think they're better than they are, right? And we had 10 in each class. So when everybody got hurt, Ian wanted to put those numbers up again. Like he wanted to be 30% percentage, he wanted all this. So his expectations, he was no different than the rest of our team. Those high expectations he had for himself, they just weren't achievable, right? When you play 8 forwards in a game, you're not going to achieve those kind of statistics. And we had just had a talk about, I don't know, 4 or 5 weeks ago, that he's just kind of relaxed and, you know, in the game, you heard him say, let the puck come to him, and he was fighting the puck as a goaltender. So I give him a lot of credit. I think it's difficult for a goaltender, a quarterback, a pitcher to overcome that mentally, and he did it. And he's been a rock for the last, I don't know, we've been on a roll here, so he's done a great job. I think as a coach, you have those conversations, but it's the player that overcomes it. It's not, you can have a lot of conversations with players, but they have to step up and make the changes themselves, and Ian did that. Nick DeSantis did that. He got sat down a little bit last night, stepped up to the plate and scored tonight, played awesome. Defensively, he was a rat. He was tenacious. It was a great game by him.
You talked about the role recently. What do you think is the main that? What do you think led to that successful learning spell?
I didn't hear the first part of the question.
Well, you said how the role recently.
Oh, roll.
Yeah.
Getting 12 forwards back was huge. I mean, you think it's crazy, but to have actually 12 forwards for practice, which we didn't have for over 2 months, just changed our. And the second part is usually a taper February on. We actually had training camp. Once we got our 12 forward back, we got back to work. And when Clarkson beat us at home, I was so sick and tired. We only allowed 11 shots, and it was like so sick and tired of analytics and everything else that we got to work. And practices were long, they were hard, they were tough, and these guys responded. And again, the players just stiffened up and became even more resilient. So I let the players respond to that as a coach. I go either way. You really have tough practices late in the year. They can either fade or they can rise to the occasion. And the players, especially through the senior leadership, they rose to the occasion. They got better.
30 seasons out, what pro there have a spectacular, and you look back on all that, what are the greatest memories to call down coach?
Get the job. I'll still never forget the day I got the call to come back and coach in my alma mater. It was probably one of the highlights of my life. But first I was getting married, I had my kids. But professionally, it was the highlight of my life. Come back to Cornell, and some of the years I've had, man, the highlight of my year has been, I can remember us losing the triple overtime in Wisconsin to go to the Frozen Four. Probably the greatest game I've ever coached in. And if the came to failure, right? If we lost. So everybody puts always an emphasis on the end result. A lot of those great moments are not championships. They're just not. They're just that journey you have with your players and athletes, and you see them put it all out there. We've had a lot of those, and there's not one that really sticks out more than any other.
Now getting to the like really at this become to third consecutive tournament. What does that mean to you to get this program back to where it wants before everything had done?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the NCAA tournament. We I think there's always a stepping stone to get to the Frozen Four. You have to suffer a little bit of, loss, be painful. Then you get close to where we were last year against Denver, and it's even more painful, but there's even more experience. And then there's that next step. And the year we got to the Frozen Four, we had that. We ended up winning a double overtime against BC. For the COVID year took that away from us. We lost. I can't remember. Then we lost to Providence. They went to the Frozen Four. That was supposed to be our next year where we got over the hump. So now it's just another chance, another opportunity for our guys to represent our league. Our league is prepares us for this. We're a 6 seed, right? We got there. Kodiak, wish them all the best in their quest in the NCAA tournament. Us the best. I hope we meet them again. I mean, I'd love to meet them again in the Frozen Four. That'd be awesome. But our league will represent well.
All right, Coach.
Thank you.
Last night, I don't know.